Hello and happy Halloween. My name is Rachel Parker. My pronouns are she and her, and I am the Anglican priest for Dayspring Ministries in Diocese of Edmonton and the Anglican Church of Canada, serving the churches in Edmonton, Vermilion, and Wainwright. I'm also the Archdeacon for Rural Ministry in the Diocese of Edmonton, and it is my pleasure to have you join me for Church at Home. So what have you got up for Halloween? Did you get lots of good candy? We got cheesies. I went and got some more stuff because, just in case we have lots of kids. It's our first year in this house, so we don't know how many kids might come. And if we have a few extras afterwards, then Friday night or Monday night football is on, and after Halloween, trick-or-treating. So you'll know what we're doing. On Friday, I talked about the importance of why it's important for Christians to celebrate Halloween and to celebrate community. But today I'd like to talk about costumes. Now, I'm not talking about ghosts and goblins or little mutant ninja turtles or princesses or, Jason the Slayer, things like that. I'm talking about the costumes that we adorn, the things, the masks that we put on ourselves. So a question for you. Since you're alone in a room or you're, nobody's watching with you, or if they are, they must be people you trust. I hope they are. You don't have to answer this question out loud, but you can if you like. How many times a day, a week, a month, a year do you put on a mask? Do you realize that you are putting on a brave face, or you are putting on that, you're putting forward the person that you think people want to see, or the person that you want people to see that isn't truly completely who you are? I think we all do that. I think we all have time, some of us more often than others. When we put on a persona, we do something, we act brave when we're totally terrified. We speak up when really we're cowering inside because we don't like to speak up. We all have those times when whatever's being called out of us in this moment is something that doesn't feel truly who we are. It doesn't feel authentic to who we are. And I don't want to say that that's always wrong, because there are times when it's important. For instance, I'm an introvert. I gain my energy from being by myself, reading, thinking, sitting, walking, it's all by myself. When I'm in a crowd around other people, it's like other people sponge up my energy. It just like seeps out of me. And I am tired. And I go to a party and I'm the person who's going to be having my back to the crowd, looking at the people's bookshelves, standing in the corner, nursing a drink that never goes down because I don't actually want to drink it, and I don't want to engage other people. So if I look like I'm about to finish a drink and go, other people will leave me alone. I'm that person. I really am. However, I am that introvert who has a job that's very extroverted. I have to talk to people. I have to be around people. I have to be on all the time. And that's exhausting for me. But it's not something that I get frustrated about. It's for many people. We are called to do jobs. We feel comfortable. Our vocation, the very thing we're called to do, pulls us out of our comfort zone. So I'm an introvert working in a very extroverted career. And that's a good thing. It balances me out. If I lived in an introverted world where I only had to do introverted things, I'd be like a hermit. I wouldn't talk to anybody. I wouldn't go see people. And I need people. We all do. There are lots of extroverts who work in introverted jobs, who do IT or data input, or they work in an office with lots of other people, but they're not encouraged to talk to each other. They're busy doing whatever it is they do, or they work in a factory where you got earplugs and you got to do what you're doing over and over, where they are drained by the end of the day, not because they're tired physically, but because they haven't received any energy from any other people, and yet they love what they do. They don't quit. They go and they do it. So there are times when putting out in front of you that which is not really who you are, in the essence of who you are, where it's a good thing. But there are lots and lots of times when we aren't authentic, when we put on a mask because it's what's expected of us, or we can't deal with how other people would deal with us if we were truly ourselves. And I'd like to question you about that. Is that okay? Is it okay if someone comes up to you and says, "How are you doing?" "Oh, I'm fine, thank you. How are you?" To be quite frank, somebody comes up to me today or last month and says, "How are you doing?" I'm good, and I've said it a lot. Oh, I'm doing really well, considering I'm good, things are good. Hooey. No, they're not. There have been days in the past month or so where I am like one foot in front of the other. It feels like it's about all I can do. And yet, I think people expect me to be happy. I think people expect me to be joyous. And people really do expect me to be faithful and believe that, God is in this and God is in control and everything's going to be okay. And I believe that in the long run, everything is going to be okay. But it's hard to put on that face for other people when recognizing that everything is going to be okay might mean at the end of your life, everything worked out okay. But there are lots of difficult things in between. People don't want to hear that. People don't want to stop at the coffee shop and have coffee with you if you're going to be a Debbie Downer. They don't want that. They want people to, chat with them about what's great in life and how things are going, and let's be happy and laugh. There's nothing wrong with that. What becomes wrong is when we forget who we are. When we walk out the door every morning and put on that mask of what does everybody expect of me? Who am I today for everybody else versus who am I today that I can share with everybody else? And if they can't handle it, well, that's their issue. Thinking about Halloween makes me think about those costumes we put on. Like some people who really work hard at making sure everybody thinks they have the perfect life. And social media, top of the world for that. How many times do we seriously put something on Facebook that hasn't been edited? I am not good with social media and editing. So if I pop a picture up on Facebook, more likely than not, it's real. It's realistic because I don't know how to, I don't know how to airbrush things. I don't know how to get that perfect spot where I look real great or that book is centered on my desk exactly so. I haven't got the patience for it. But for the most part, we don't post things on social media that show the reality of what's happening in our lives if the reality isn't so good. We want affirmation. We don't want people to walk away and say, "Oh, she's too hard to deal with. She's depressing me. I'm going to walk away." Or even things like, I know that there are lots of people who disagree with me in politics, things like that. But I also know that there are many people who might disagree with me on things that I believe, my faith, politics, whatever it might be, who don't respond that way on Facebook or even on YouTube. Lots of people respond honestly on YouTube. But there are other people that I wonder, are they taming it down? Are they really being honest about how they feel? Because they don't want to offend me or they don't want to offend somebody else. I don't think that we should be living in a world in which we go around making everybody feel awesome and happy and everything, and you're totally accepted because you're just perfect just the way you are, when the world isn't perfect the way it is. But I also don't think that we need to go to the other end of the spectrum, that we need to trash everybody either. We need to find that space in the world where we can be ourselves and we can choose to put on a mask when we leave the house in the morning. But the fact is that we have chosen to do so, not because it's expected of us, but because it's what we choose to do for ourselves, for our own sanity. So as the kids are out trick-or-treating and we're talking and we're seeing all those costumes and masks and stuff, I thought maybe today would be a good day just to think about what masks do we wear? What masks do I put on? Is who I am on this YouTube channel really who I am? Actually, yeah, it is. For the most part, it really is. I don't really fake much here. And if I do, it's because I'm trying to be happy. I'm trying to be encouraging. There are times I get very angry and I pull that back because I don't want to tick people off too much. And it wouldn't be appropriate. I am a priest. But consider that. Consider what masks you wear and whether or not it's a choice you make to wear them. And if it is, more power to you. But if it isn't, take back your power. Have a good Halloween. God bless you, and I'll see you tomorrow for Church at Home with Rachel.